What comes to mind when you hear the words African history? For many, the story begins and ends with pyramids, safaris, and maybe a vague notion of colonization. But what if I told you that it's like reading only the last chapter of an epic novel? Africa, a continent of over 50 countries and thousands of cultures, holds a history so vast, so rich, and so profoundly influential. It's an unseen tapestry woven into the very fabric of our shared human story. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and reveal the breathtaking scope of African history. A story of innovation, empires, resilience, and global impact that has been overlooked for far too long. Get ready to see the world in a new light. Let's begin in the ancient world, where Africa was a cradle of civilization. Of course, we know about ancient Egypt, but let's look beyond the pyramids. This was a civilization that gave us advancements in medicine, mathematics, and engineering that still astound us today. They developed one of the world's first writing systems, hieroglyphics, and their art and architecture reveal a deep understanding of astronomy and the human spirit. But Egypt wasn't alone. To the south, the kingdom of Kush in Nubia flourished for centuries. They were masters of iron smelting, a technology that gave them immense power. They built their own pyramids, developed the unique Meroitic script, and at one point, even ruled over Egypt as the 25th dynasty. Further east, the kingdom of Aksum, in modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea, was a major player in global trade, connecting the Roman Empire with ancient India. They erected massive, steely, monumental stone towers, and became one of the first empires in the world to adopt Christianity as its state religion. And in southern Africa, the enigmatic Great Zimbabwe stands as a testament to a sophisticated society. Its massive stone walls, built without any mortar, enclosed a bustling city that was the center of a powerful trading state, leaving behind a legacy of architectural genius and complex social organization. These weren't isolated outposts. They were brilliant centers of human achievement. As we move into the medieval period, we witness the rise of colossal empires built on wealth and knowledge. West Africa, in particular, became a global powerhouse. First came the Ghana Empire, known to the world as the Land of Gold. It controlled the trans-Saharan trade routes, its armies ensuring the safe passage of salt, textiles, and, most importantly, vast quantities of gold that flowed into Europe and the Middle East. Following Ghana's decline, the Mali Empire rose to even greater prominence. Its most famous ruler, Mansa Musa, embarked on a pilgrimage to Mecca in the 14th century that literally changed the global economy. His procession was so lavish, so laden with gold, that it caused the price of gold to plummet in every city he visited. But Mali wasn't just about wealth. The city of Timbuktu became a legendary center of learning, boasting one of the world's great universities and libraries, filled with manuscripts on law, astronomy, and philosophy. Scholars flocked there from all over the Islamic world. The Songhai Empire followed, expanding Mali's territory and continuing its legacy as a hub of trade and intellectual life. Meanwhile, in what is now Nigeria, the Benin Kingdom was creating some of the most masterful art the world has ever seen. Their intricate bronze plaques and sculptures are not just beautiful objects. They are historical records, depicting the kingdom's history, its sophisticated political structure, and its vibrant cultural life with breathtaking skill. These empires were the epicenters of commerce, culture, and intellectual curiosity. The story of Africa is also one of unparalleled resilience and resistance. Before the major disruptions of external forces, the continent was a mosaic of diverse societies. From the democratic councils of the Igbo people to the vast city-states of the Swahili coast, Africa was home to countless forms of governance, social structures, and cultural practices, each uniquely adapted to its environment. Then came the darkest chapter, the transatlantic slave trade. For over 400 years, millions of Africans were forcibly taken from their homes, their families, and their cultures. The impact was devastating, depopulating entire regions and sowing seeds of conflict. Yet, even in the face of such unimaginable horror, resistance was constant. From revolts on slave ships to the formation of maroon communities of escaped slaves in the Americas, the fight for freedom never ceased. This was followed by the scramble for Africa in the late 19th century, where European powers carved up the continent, imposing colonial rule and exploiting its resources. But the spirit of resistance endured. A new generation of African leaders, thinkers, and everyday people rose up, demanding their sovereignty. The fight for independence was long and often brutal, but by the mid-20th century, a wave of liberation swept across the continent. The post-independence era has been filled with its own challenges, from nation-building to political instability. But through it all, the story of Africa remains one of triumph over adversity, a testament to enduring strength. The influence of African history doesn't stop at the continent's shores. Its impact is truly global and deeply relevant today. Think about the music you listen to. Blues, jazz, rock and roll, hip-hop, salsa, reggae all have deep roots in African rhythmic traditions and musical sensibilities. Carried across the ocean and transformed into new, powerful art forms. African art, with its bold forms and abstract expressions, directly inspired European modern artists like Picasso and Matisse, changing the course of Western art forever. Foods we love, from gumbo to barbecue, carry the culinary heritage of Africa. The struggle against colonialism and racism in Africa also fueled global movements for justice. The philosophy of Pan-Africanism inspired civil rights leaders in the United States and liberation struggles around the world, creating a global network of solidarity. Today, a new chapter is being written. Africa is a continent of youthful energy, rapid economic growth, and incredible innovation, especially in technology and creative arts. From bustling tech hubs in Lagos and Nairobi to the global phenomenon of Afrobeats and Nollywood, a cultural and economic resurgence is underway. Understanding this history is not just an academic exercise. It teaches us about the foundations of our modern world, the nature of empires, the importance of cultural identity, and the enduring power of the human spirit. The past is not past. It is the key to understanding our present and shaping a more equitable future. So, let's revisit our question. What is African history? It's the history of brilliant innovators and scholars. It's the history of powerful kings and queens who commanded global respect. It's the story of artists whose genius shaped the world, and of resilient people who fought for their freedom against impossible odds. It is not an appendix to world history. It is a foundational part of our collective human story. By reclaiming this legacy, we don't just correct the record for one continent. We enrich our understanding of ourselves. The tapestry of African history is vast, intricate, and brilliant. It's time we all took a closer look and appreciated its profound beauty. Thank you for watching. If this journey opened your eyes, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that change the way we see the world.